Welcome to Q&A with Doctors A and J, brought to you by Alterman and Johnson Family Chiropractors.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Franca Alterman with Alterman and Johnson Family Chiropractors. And in today's episode of Q&A with Doctors A and J, I have with me Karen Wood. And Karen is, we'll let her tell us a little bit about what else, but definitely one of the best yoga teachers that I've ever had. We just finished a very relaxing practice. And so let's say hello to Karen. Karen, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are and why you are gifting us with this beautiful gift of yoga practice a few times a week?
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Franca, for having me. I appreciate it. So I'm Karen Wood. I have been practicing yoga for over 14 years. I live here in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida, and I was certified in yoga. I became a registered yoga teacher back in 2015. And I used to teach for a while, but I didn't teach for long because I was an executive at an insurance company, and my time was very limited between having a very, very demanding job and then having my own yoga practice and having 3 teenagers. It challenged me, so I didn't have as much time to teach as I would have liked to. But at this particular point in my life, I'm in between roles right now. And so I'm not currently working. And I haven't been since the beginning of November. And then all of a sudden, all of this coronavirus and COVID stuff started happening.
Right.
And I am a person who is deeply devoted to service. And so I feel that it is so incredibly important that if we have a gift to share, that we need to share that with others, and we need to be in service to others if we have the opportunity to do so. So when all of the coronavirus stuff started happening, and I was trying to figure out what could I do, how could I give, how could I help other people?
Right.
And I decided that the way that I could help is by sharing my knowledge about yoga and helping others through giving free online classes. So that's what I started to do. And I give free online classes once or twice a day, between 5 and 6 days a week. There actually, for a little while there, I was teaching 7 days a week. And so it's just been wonderful. It's been fantastic because I have people from all over the place coming to class, and I offer several different types of classes. So I do a vinyasa, which is more of a flow and what some people may refer to as like a power class. And then I also offer a mind-body class, which is a much more slow-moving, full body, just a mindful class. Yeah. And then I offer deep stretch, which is what we just finished, which is a very static class where you hold postures for between 3 and 5 minutes. And it gets very intense. And it's just such a huge release. So it's been so wonderful to be able to create connection, to be able to reconnect with people I haven't seen for a long time. It's been, and to meet new people like you and like your family. So it's been absolutely wonderful.
So I want to tell people that the first time that I did your class, I was so appreciative, and I was really just thinking the gift that you can give people is probably beyond what you even realize sometimes. And I have family that lives in South America, family that lives in Mexico, family that lives in other places in the US, and I've been telling them about them. And so today in our class, I had my sister who lives in Mexico, in Guadalajara, my sister who lives in Medellin, Colombia, my cousin who lives in Alabama via Nebraska. And so our class today was pretty much my family and then one other person. And I think that is just such a neat thing.
It's so wonderful. And I am so excited that we've gone international with our classes, thanks to your help, Franca. And it's so, once again, it's so wonderful, right? Because there's so much that's happening right now that we feel is negative. So people can look at the current situation and say, you know, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. I can't leave my house. I can't go to a restaurant. I can't go to a club. I can't go to a gym. And my invitation to everyone is to focus on what you can do, because there are so many things that we can do right now. We can connect with each other utilizing this wonderful technology and be able to meet new people that we haven't met before. And our boundaries that we had before are completely eliminated. So here I am meeting people from Colombia and meeting people from Mexico and meeting people from Nebraska who, you know, I have never met before. And it's so absolutely wonderful. So not only is the opportunity to connect and create with other people still available to us, but it's been more expansive than it was before. So while there may be things that we can't do, there are so many things that we can do. And I encourage people, if you've never tried yoga, please come and try it out. It's a completely judgment-free space. There's no judgment. I call a lot of cueing so that you don't have to look at the phone or look at the computer, so that you can just listen and you can just be inside in your own body and just, you know, feel what you feel, and give yourself the gift of taking time out, self-care and self-love, because matching yoga has been so amazing for me in my life. That's why it's been so important to me to be able to share this gift at this specific time also, because taking a moment to breathe and taking the moment to withdraw from everything that's going on around us and to just be still and get quiet is so important and such a gift, that if I can bring that to other people, I so want to do that. And I feel it's actually my job. It's important. It's the reason why I'm alive, is to be able to share my gifts with other people. So I hope that I'm able to help others to feel good, to feel calm, to find peace, especially in this time of anxiety.
Yes. So what we're going to do now is Karen is going to allow me to use the class that we did today, and I'm going to put it right after this conversation that we're having so that people can actually do this wonderful class. And Karen, I would really like to invite you to have another conversation at a different time with us, because this is going to be too long between our interview and the class, but maybe at a different time, so that we can talk about all these different branches of yoga that you were alluding to during the class, and how most people don't realize that yoga is not just something that you do in the gym and you do certain postures and certain movements, but there is a whole life and health philosophy that comes along with it, and branches that involve every part of our lives. And I would love to have you talk about all of that and give people a different view of what most of them think yoga is.
I would absolutely welcome that, Franca. Absolutely. Because as you indicate, there are 8 limbs of yoga. It is not a religion. It is a philosophy. And there's so much more to it than just the physical practice of asana, which is what most people know, which is the practice of the postures. But the practice of yoga goes much beyond that. So I welcome the opportunity to be able to share that with you and with all of your patients and your audience. So thank you. I look forward to that.
Perfect. Okay, so we will say goodbye, but until later, not really goodbye, but see you later, so that we can have another interview. And now please enjoy this great yoga practice. And a warning, do not do this in your car because you're gonna fall asleep like I did. It's a better place to do it right before you go to bed at night so that you can fall into dreamland for the entire night.
Good morning, everyone. So thank you for joining me today for class, and happy Friday. And my name is Karen, and we're going to be here together for 60 minutes of deep stretch. So there are a couple of things about my classes that you should be aware of if you've not attended them before. This is a complete no judgment zone. So there's never any need to do what I say. What I have to say is I'm merely here as a guide. Please listen to your own body. So tune in, listen to yourself, and do what feels good to you. We're looking to avoid any pain or pinching. So if ever you experience any pain or pinching, please back off. I want you to protect yourself. This is meant to feel good. You will at times in some of these stretches feel some intense stretching. That's fine, that's normal, but the pain or pinching, back off, okay? Let's begin. We'll get started in Child's Pose. So, Child's Pose, your choice, lots of options. Your knees can be close together or your knees can be open wide. And then you're going to walk your hands out in front of you and allow your forehead to just gently rest between your arms. And draw your attention to your breath, to your Ujjayi breathings. Inhales through the nose and exhales through the nose. Just lengthen your spine long. Allow yourself to release any tension or anxiety you may be holding on to in your face and in your shoulders, in your hips. Just allow all of that to release. Draw all of your attention internally here. Notice how the inhales begin to lengthen and the exhales lengthen to match the inhales. Samavriti, same breath. Allowing yourself to release anything that came before this moment. Allowing yourself to release any concerns about what comes next. And just being fully present to right now. Now, and noticing what you feel. Notice the feel of the mat or the floor beneath your hands. What does it feel like? It might be warm, it might be cold. Just noticing how it feels. Notice the front of your shins as they rest down on the surface. Notice the pressure of the shins against the floor. And then noticing the tops of the feet as they make contact with the mat. And notice your hips as they are making contact with the heels. And your hips may be making contact or maybe not, and that's okay. There's no difference. Every physical body is different. Just relax the shoulders down and away from the ears. And be fully present to this moment. Feel the opening along the lumbar spine, the very base of your spine. Feel it expand. Now together we'll take a deep inhale here. Fill up. Pull everything in. Hold at the top. Open mouth, exhale. Ha. Let it go. Hold at the bottom. Again, inhale here. Pulling it in, long, slow, lengthened breath. Hold at the top. Open mouth, exhale. Ha. Release it, let it all go. Hold at the bottom. Now one more time, inhaling together. Fill up, pull it all in. Fill up to your fullest extent. Hold at the top. Open mouth, exhale. Ha. Release, let it all go. And then returning to your Ujjayi breathing. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. And then slowly beginning to make your way up to a tabletop position. Tabletop pose. Your wrists are directly beneath the shoulders. Your fingers are spread out wide. Your pointer fingers are pointing towards the front of the mat. Roll the shoulders down and away from your ears. Now the knees are hip width distance apart and your hips are stacked directly over the knees. The toes can be tucked under or they can be pointed to the back of your mat and the tops of the feet making contact with the mat. Allow your eyes to be facing down towards the floor, creating a neutral spine. Now begin to allow your hips to drop to the right and then drop to the left. Just a very gentle movement, moving from side to side, just beginning to waken up the body. Just noticing what you notice. You may notice some tightness you didn't even know that you had. And just without judgment, just being in a deep state of inquiry. How do you feel? And then coming back to center and finding stillness. Now we're going to take some rounds of cat-cow. So on an inhale, lift your chin towards the ceiling. Drop the belly towards the mat. And then on an exhale, chin comes to chest and the very center of your spine lifts to the ceiling. And then inhale, chin comes up, bone comes up, belly drops. Exhale. The middle of the spine comes up, chin comes to chest. And then continue in that fashion where the chin is coming up towards the ceiling. And then the chin comes to the chest. Cycling through with your breath, inhaling up for cow. And then exhaling, contracting the belly in for cat. Two more rounds here, staying with your breath. Just noticing what you notice, noticing how you feel. And after your second round, making your way to a neutral spine. And then beginning to walk the knees forward and then allowing yourself to come to a seated position. Allow your legs to extend out in front of you. Now here is where you might want to use some of your props if you have some props. If you have a towel or a blanket or even your pillow, if you'd like to set that below your hips and sit on that just so that you can bring a little teeny bit of elevation to your hips. Now your legs are extended long out in front of you. You can have a bend to the knees. Now draw your attention to the tailbone. Have a slight tuck of the tailbone. Roll the shoulders back and down away from you. If you have a pillow, you can bring a pillow to on top of your thighs. We're going to take Paschimottanasana, a seated forward fold. So now inhale, your hands come up overhead. And then exhale, begin to hinge at the hips and come forward. Now, your hands can come down on top of the pillow. Your hands can come to the floor. Wherever is going to allow you to draw the shoulders down and away from your ears. You can have a big bend in your legs right here. So you can even bring some props. If you have some props that you'd like to use, you can have them underneath your knees, a rolled up towel, a pillow, whatever feels good to you. Lots of options, lots of ways you can support yourself. I'm going to turn my mat sideways so that it might be a little bit easier for you guys to see how I might be using some of these props. So having a towel or a blanket or something like that to put up underneath the backs of your knees, a pillow or blocks or whatever you have available to go on tops of the thighs. The feet are flexed back towards the face. You're just simply allowing yourself to fold forward. And then just simply relax. Allow the shoulders to come down away from the ears. Allow your face to gently relax. Release any tension across the face, across the forehead. Release any clenching of the jaw. And just be with where you are right now. And you may be feeling some deep, intense sensations along the back side of the thighs. That's normal. These are the hamstrings. And this posture will address and it will impact the hamstrings there. You will feel that muscle and that connective tissue in that area stretching. Also, we'll be feeling this along the lumbar spine, the low spine. So as you stay in this posture and allow gravity to simply do the work for you, you should begin to feel the low spine beginning to open. Now your drishti, your gaze, can be at a single point or have your eyes gently closed. Totally fine. Wherever you are, you're focused on your breath. Long, lengthened inhales and matching exhale. Just simply allowing yourself to be. Noticing that the longer we stay here, that the longer we are still, the deeper we begin to release and drop into the posture, the more stress and anxiety we begin to release, and the more calm we begin to become. Just a few more breaths right here. If it becomes at any time that this is too intense, Once again, a deep listening for your own physical body, what it's trying to tell you. The body is so wise, so brilliant. It knows what it needs. And so it sends you messages all the time. So any pain or pinching, you'll want to back off. But if it's just a stretching that you feel, allow yourself to stay. Utilize the breath to enable you to stay deeper, stay longer, and just focus on the breath. Now slowly beginning to rise, using the hands to walk back beside the body, allowing yourself to lift, removing your props, and we're going to make our way down onto our backs, setting up for banana pose. So banana pose, you're going to allow your spine to extend long on the mat. You're going to bring your left foot to the left side of your mat. Cross your right foot over the left. Bring your left hand to the left side of the mat. Cross the right hand over it. So we're basically making the shape of a banana on our mat. So your hips are towards the center of the mat, but your hands and your feet are at the edges. Now, different arm placement you can take. You can grab opposite elbows if that feels better for you. You can keep the hands extended long and stack the right hand over the left, or you can grab the right wrist with the left hand. But what you should be experiencing here is a deep stretch along the entire right-hand side of the body. From the right ankle all the way up along the hips, up to the right wrist. Just a big, expansive stretch. Relax the shoulders here. Allow them to drop away from the ears, releasing the tension. Drawing the attention back internally to the breath. The breath is what grounds you in the present moment. It enables you to stay focused on what's real and what's true, which is right now. The past is the past. It's gone. It's behind us. The future is not here yet. Be fully present right here, right now. Be mindful by staying present to your breath, and present to the physical sensations you're currently feeling inside your body. Two more long, lengthened breaths right here. You might be feeling a big stretch from the waist up to the armpit. That's what I'm feeling right now. Breathe into that. Send oxygen right to any of the tight places. Lengthen your breath long. And then allow yourself to go back to the center line. And then you're going to move to the opposite side. So the right foot comes to the right edge of the mat. The left foot stacks up and over on top of it. The right hand comes to the right edge, and the left hand stacks on top of it. You can grab the left wrist with the right hand. Now we're feeling that expansion all along the left-hand side of the body. Hips are planted, rooted firmly in the center of the mat. Both hips should be pressed down into the mat evenly, avoiding any lifting onto one side or the other. Full front side of the body is facing up towards the ceiling. And just breathing into any tightness that you might be feeling anywhere along the left-hand side of the body. Allowing the withdrawal of senses, pratyahara, limb number 5, by drawing your attention internally and focusing on the breath. The breath is pranayama, limb number 4 in this 8-limb practice. So pranayama is breath, and by focusing on the breath, we are able to withdraw the senses. Allow yourself to come inside. You may begin to feel a release in the left shoulder, a release in the left ribs, the left hip. Relax any of the muscles where you notice there could be a clenching, a tightness. Consciously choose to seek out and then relax in those places. Now begin to release and come back to center line. So you're achieving a long, lengthened state right here. Now, both palms are facing down towards the earth. You're going to take the right arm and reach it up overhead if you're able to do that and that's comfortable for you. Now you're going to begin to roll over onto your right-hand side. So we're rolling onto the right-hand side. We're resting our head along the upper arm. We're moving into what's called cat pulling its tail. So you just need to listen, and I will go ahead and give you the directions. No need to look. You'll just listen with your listening ears. So your top leg right now should be your left leg. Allow your left leg to stretch long in front of you. It can be straight, it can be bent, whatever feels most comfortable for you. Allow your foot to rest onto the floor so it has some support, and just allow it to just set right there. Now bend at the right knee. Bend your right knee, pulling your heel back towards your bottom. Okay? Now you may begin to feel tightness in your hamstring. That's fine. If you feel anything, feel free to undo that. Now begin to bring your left hand up towards the ceiling and then reach it back towards your right foot. If you can, grab onto the right foot. If you can't reach your foot, that's fine also. Our focus here is on keeping the hips stacked. So your hips are stacked, your left foot is in front of you, your right foot is bent and it's behind you. Now take a few deep breaths right here. Begin to feel the left shoulder falling behind you. The chest is opening. And then slowly begin to allow more of your chest and your upper body begin to open towards the ceiling. Your hips are staying stacked, but your left shoulder is making its way down closer towards the floor. So this is a twist. It's coming at the waist. Your chest is opening towards the ceiling. And now consciously choose to relax wherever you feel yourself holding on. Where can you let go? Can you release your shoulders down away from your ears? Can you relax more into the twist coming just below the rib cage? Allowing the left shoulder to come closer towards the mat. Can you relax in the right quadricep and the right hamstring? So the front and back of your right thigh. Can you release any tightness you might be feeling there? Can you release the pursing of your lips, the clenching of your jaw? Can you allow the eyes to gently close? And allow yourself to release any thoughts that might be popping up for you. So thoughts are definitely going to come. That's just how it is. The thoughts are going to come. Simply acknowledge them and then allow them to release. Allow yourself, by withdrawing the senses, to concentrate on the breath. Limb number 6, concentration, Dharana. Allow yourself to concentrate internally. Allow anything that's happening around you to just be. And allow yourself the opportunity to simply be present to this moment, allowing the release in the muscles. The right foot is very close to the floor, if not on the floor. The left foot is on the floor if possible, or on a prop if that's what you need. And just breathing right here, breathing, opening the chest to the ceiling, noticing that as you stay here longer, that the twist gets deeper. It's a beautiful opening for the spine. Deep spinal twist. Take one more deep inhale here. And an exhale. And then allow the release of your right foot. Slowly come back up onto your right hand side. And then slowly begin to make your way onto your backs on your mat. And we'll take Shavasana for just a minute here. So both legs are extended long, both arms are extended long, palms are facing the ceiling. And take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Now, simply noticing how the right side of your body feels different from the left. No need to judge, just simply a noticing. And then we'll begin to move on to the other side. So now with feet extended long and towards the center of the mat, allowing the left arm to come up overhead, and rolling up onto your left side. So you're rolling onto your left hand. I'm going to turn around so you guys can see me. And then allowing the right leg to extend out long in front of you. The right leg can be straight, it can be bent, whatever feels good to you. Your foot can come to the floor, it can come to a prop. Just simply allowing the hips to be back here and the right leg to be forward. Now begin to bend the left leg behind you. And then reaching the right hand up, it comes back and attempts to reach the left foot. And then allow the left foot to drop down towards the floor. Take a few deep breaths right here. Focusing on the hips, focusing on them being stacked on top of one another. Relaxing all the tension in your neck and in your face. And then slowly allowing the right shoulder to begin to come back towards the floor. And so your head comes back behind you. And the right shoulder begins to make its way closer towards the mat. The hips are staying stacked where they are, simply a movement in the upper body. Drawing your attention to the shoulders and rolling them down and away from your ears. Noticing any of the tight places where you're hanging on. So you could be hanging on in the glutes. You could be tightening up your left quadricep and your left hamstring, the front and the back of the left thigh. Allow those to release. Draw your attention to the breath. The drishti, the gaze, may be on a single point, or your eyes may be closed. Allowing yourself to achieve that meditative state. Limb number 7. Listen to your breath. Hear the sounds that your breath makes. Notice the temperature of your breath as it comes in and as it goes out. Send your breath to any of the tight places, anywhere you might be holding on. So for me right now, it's deep in my right hip. And in my right piriformis, a muscle that's way down deep in the right glute, I can feel how that's tight. So breathe in deep. Send your oxygen to any of the tight places you might be feeling this. And just allow yourself to be fully present, mindfully in this moment. Now it's a release of the left foot, a stacking of the feet once again, and then coming back up onto your side. Now you're going to roll over onto the belly, setting up for Sphinx Pose. So Sphinx Pose, our elbows are stacked directly beneath the shoulders. The hands are extended long out in front of us. The hands are open really wide. Spread the fingers. Now, the tops of the feet are down into the mat, and roll the shoulders back and down. And you're pressing down into the elbows so that the crown lifts away from the shoulders. One of the things that you may tend to see in practice is that people kind of dump into this pose and allow the chest to drop and the shoulders to rise. Roll the shoulders back and down. Press the chest forward and lift from the crown. Now the tailbone is tucked. So as you're pressing the pubic bone down into the mat, you should feel a slight compression, a back bend in the low spine. Any pain or pinching, please back off. Please, lower yourself down. But if this is comfortable for you and you're able to achieve this, press down in the elbows, lift the crown away from the ears, and breathe right here. Focus is on the tailbone and the pubic bone, curling the pubic bone down towards the earth. The tailbone is tracking down towards the heels, protecting the lower spine. You should feel an intense stretch along the front side of the body, the abdomen, deep inside the belly, the psoas muscle. And if there's anyone that really wants more, you can press down into your hands and begin to straighten the elbows. Once again, focusing on that pubic bone first though, pressing the pubic bone down before you begin to straighten. And I encourage you to keep a bend in the elbows, avoiding locking out the elbows. But really being very careful, very gentle, listening to your body. Only you know your practice, your choice. And then slowly lowering all the way down to the mat, setting up for Crocodile Pose. So Crocodile Pose, you're going to allow your hands to stack directly beneath your face. You're going to bring your legs open to the outside edges of your mat, and your feet are flexed back towards the body. The inner arches of your feet are coming down towards the floor. You can rest your forehead on your hands, you can rest a cheek, you can rest the chin. Whatever feels most comfortable for you. When you get into the posture, drawing your attention to the low spine, allow yourself to consciously release in the lumbar spine, low spine, the base of your back. Now drawing your attention to your thighs. Can you choose to relax the thighs? Release the tension you might be holding on to. Can you relax the shins and the calves, the front and the back of the lower leg? Staying focused on your breathing. Samavriti. Long lengthened inhales, lengthened exhales, matching. Same breath. And you may begin to notice that as you stay in this posture longer, that if the full length of your foot is not able to be on the floor immediately, it may be traveling closer and closer. simply by being in the practice of staying. The practice in a yin practice is to really focus internally. It's the opportunity to get comfortable with perhaps being uncomfortable. So some of these postures may not necessarily feel great when you begin them. You know, you may even think that they don't feel great when you end them either. But it's noticing, it's the opportunity to allow yourself to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that serves you so well, both on the mat and off the mat. There are plenty of uncomfortable situations that we find ourselves in all the time. One of them could very well be the situation that we're dealing with right now with, you know, coronavirus and COVID-19. You know, it's an uncomfortable situation for a lot of people to have to stay home, to not be able to go out and socialize, to not be able to go to the places we want to go. We feel very restricted. But how can you utilize your breath to get more comfortable with being uncomfortable? Draw your attention inside. What's possible if you simply stay? What's possible if you ground yourself in the present moment? Instead of focusing on when is this going to be over? When are we going to be able to go back? Focus on right here, right now. Focus on this posture. Focus on this breath. Focus on all that is going well right now. And allow all the other expectations to release. Now slowly beginning to allow your legs to walk towards each other, moving very slowly. That's an intense posture. And then slowly beginning to push yourself up and then making your way over onto your backs. We're setting up for some spinal twists. So we're going to cross our legs into eagle legs. So the right leg crosses over the left. Your arms come out to a T, palms face up. And then allow both knees to drop to the left while your drishti, your gaze, goes to the right. It's called twisted roots. If you're feeling any discomfort at all, you can find one of the props and you can prop something up underneath your knee to support you. You can uncross your legs if you prefer and simply have your knees side by side. Lots of options, yogi's choice. Allowing your gaze, your drishti, to be over the right shoulder, over the right fingertips. Eyes may be open, eyes may be closed. Limbs number 1 and 2 of this 8-limb practice are the yamas and the niyamas. They are how we treat others and how we treat ourselves. Restraints and observances. And one of the yamas that I've been studying this week is satya, truth. And it's so interesting. One of the things I was reading about today was the difference between being nice and being true. And it struck me because it was true for me. You know, there are times when instead of being truthful, because we don't want to hurt someone's feelings, or because we don't want to be in conflict potentially, that instead we are what we call nice, which isn't exactly being in truth. And so it's not a judgment, it's just a noticing, it's just an opportunity to check in. And it's an invitation, actually, to say, okay, when I'm in those situations, do I have an opportunity, instead of being nice, to be true? So, and by that, I don't mean being mean or rude or judgmental, but to actually speak my truth, though, instead of holding back. The opportunity to simply be true. Now, on your next inhale, bringing the legs up towards the center line, allowing your feet to be on the mat, knees are bent. Just allow the full length of your spine to make contact with the mat. Allow the eyes to close. And then just check in here. Simply noticing, how do I feel? Noticing the difference, the right side of the body from the left side. Now beginning to move on to the other side, crossing the left leg over the right, arms are open wide to a T, allowing the knees to drop to the right hand side and the drishti gaze goes to the left. Focusing on the left shoulder, press the left shoulder down towards the mat. Drishti is over the left shoulder, looking beyond the left fingertips. The twist is coming deeply from just below the ribs. You can utilize the right hand as a guide for your knees if you'd like. You can utilize props to put them up underneath your legs. Lots of options. Breathe deeply right here. So we talked about limbs number 1 and 2, yamas and niyamas, are restraints and observances. Limb number 3 is the asanas, the actual physical practice of these postures, the shapes that we make. I mentioned limb number 4 earlier in terms of the breath. Pranayama is breath. That's limb number 4. Limbs number 5, 6, and 7, pratyahara, withdrawal of the senses. Limb number 6, concentration, dharana. And limb number 7, meditation, dhyana. All leading us to limb number 8, samadhi, bliss, complete absorption. It's what gives us the yoga, the union of the mind, body, and spirit. Now on your next inhale, allowing everything to come back to center line. And drawing the knees towards the belly. Press the full length of your spine down into your mat. So the hips are really rooted and grounded here. They're not lifting off the mat. The knees are bent. We're simply drawing the knees in towards the belly. Full lengthened spine, pressing down into the mat. You can allow yourself a gentle little sway left to right. A little massage for the lower back. And now moving to an inversion. So legs raised, Viparita Karani, which is waterfall pose. I encourage you to take a pillow, slide it up underneath your back, and then allow your legs to just simply come straight up in the air. Now you can support your thighs with your hands if you would like, and you can also allow your arms to come open wide with the palms face up. Allow the toes to drop back towards the body. And allow yourself to focus on the breath. Draw the breath in, all the way in, past the chest, down below the ribs, into the belly. And then reverse, squeeze the breath out of the belly, allowing it to come up through the ribs, through the chest, and then back up and out. It is very common in times of stress and in times of anxiety for us as humans to be very shallow breathers, to breathe only into the upper chest. Take this opportunity to really lengthen the breath, pulling it all the way down. It's that deep breathing that enables you to achieve a more relaxed, calm state. Just a couple of more breaths right here. Allowing the breath to calm you, allowing the opening of the heart, anahata, the heart chakra, allowing it to open to the ceiling. Feeling everything relax and everything release. Now, after your next inhale, allow the knees to begin to bend. Allow yourself to remove the prop from beneath the body. And setting up for our final posture, Shavasana. Deep rest. Now, the legs spread open wide, coming to the outside edges of the mat. Arms are open wide, palms face up. Roll the shoulders back and down. Allow the eyes to gently close. Allow the full length of your body to release into the mat. No need to control anything here. Allow the breath to resume to a normal, natural state. There's nothing forced. Just simply being. Full and complete release. Relaxing the muscles of the face. Releasing the tongue from the roof of your mouth. Allowing all of your muscles to feel weighted and drawn towards the earth, enabling another 10% of relaxation in the body. Slowly beginning to draw yourself back into your physical body. Simply noticing how you feel. Drawing your attention to the heart center, Anahata. Seeing how full and complete your heart is. Noticing nothing broken, nothing needing to be fixed. Whole and complete, just as you are. Beginning to bring some movement to your physical body, maybe a wiggle of the toes, and a brushing of the thumb over the fingertips. Very slight, gentle movements. Maybe even a sway of the head from side to side. And then if it feels good to you, you're gently making your way over to the right-hand side for fetal pose. Knees are bent, drawn towards the abdomen, towards the chest. Your head can rest on your upper arm. Your eyes are gently closed. The pose of rebirth, the pose of renewal. Recognizing that each moment is an opportunity to start anew. And then, when you're ready, gently making your way up to a seated and cross-legged position that's comfortable for you. Once again, the eyes are gently closed. Ground down in the sits bones. Stretch long through the spine. Reach to the ceiling with the crown. Feel the expansion in the body. Drawing the hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. thumbs make contact with the heart center. Drawing your attention internally, noticing how you feel. Maybe a shift in mindset, maybe a shift in your emotional state, maybe a shift in how you feel physically. No need to judge, just simply in noticing, being in a deep state of inquiry in terms of what's going on. How do you feel? And then drawing the thumbs to the forehead center. And the light in me shines deeply to the light in each of you. I am so grateful for the opportunity to bear witness to your practice today, and I thank you for allowing me to do so. Together we bow and say to one another, Namaste.